Hi, I'm Bill Lancaster. I'll be your host for this video on fill that big hole in a bowl or a piece of wood you've got, whatever it might be. So I've got two projects I'm going to be doing, and both of them are brand new for me to try to do. I haven't done anything in regard to filling big spaces before, but I'm going to try these two. So this first one is, you see this? This is a live oak bowl. I left the bark on it. I carved it down the middle, and you can see this is really hardwood, and the grain's all going this way. So I had to dig out all that grain in there, and it's really hard to do. I had to use hollowing tools to get in there and do it with. And then because I was afraid that the bottom would split, because the pith goes right down here, I was afraid that the pith would cause it to split, so I just took the bottom out. And you see here the hole left when I took the bottom out, and the bottom is this piece, and you see the pith there in the middle. It got a little crack over here on the side where it would have been splitting for the pith, so it was just going to be a little crack, but no telling what it would have done if I had left it in the whole bowl. But you can see that it's got a little crack in it. So that's going to be one project, is to fill the bottom there. And what I'm going to do is create a little modeling clay base there, so that it'll create a little pocket. When the epoxy will go in this big space, the modeling clay in the bottom. When I take the modeling clay out, this bowl is going to sit flat on the tabletop. So that's going to be one project, and I had to use some CA glue to fix this bark to the side of the bowl, because it was starting to come loose, and I wanted it to stay on there, so I have gotten it to stay on pretty well. The other project I've got is this beauty. You see this bowl? This thing is just full of holes, and when I did it, I thought, I'm just going to throw that thing away. It's got wormholes in it, and these holes came after they had a larvae or something in there. They just really had big holes in it. I was ready to throw it out, and a friend said, no, put it in a bag with its shavings, and then you can try to turn it later and maybe make something out of it. Well, I've just got to fill those holes. Let's face it. I can't just leave those things like that. Although the kind of the interesting feature of them is the depth of those holes. But I'm probably going to fill them with the same stuff I use on the big. This is an elm bowl, and that one's going to be, the other one is a live oak bowl. This is the product I'm going to use. It's this amazing. It's called Alumilite, Alumilite, Alumilite clear cast. It's a casting resin, and you can use it for casting or for coating, either one. So it's this is only 16 ounces. It costs less than $20, and it's a good, hopefully a product that I can use and will do the job for me. It's what I need. So what you're going to see is me mixing this stuff up, putting a little bit of dye with it, filling these spaces in this beauty, and then filling the bottom of that green bowl, the live oak bowl. So that's the two things I'm going to be doing, and we'll see how it goes. It's kind of interesting to try to do something completely new, and if I flub the dub on it, you'll be the first to know. But this is what I'm going to be doing, these two. So we'll see how that turns out, and these are the big holes. If you want to know how to fill the little holes, I like to use a product called Timbermate, and I think I've got them over here where I can show you. Timbermate is a wood filler. It's made in England, I think. It's a water-based wood filler, and it will do a good job just filling small spaces. I probably could fill the big spaces that you see in that wormy bowl, but this is the stuff, the product called Timbermate, and it comes in different colors. So this is it. I've got the, this is a black ebony, and these things are not too expensive. See if I got a price on there. That one is $7.50. It'll last a long time. It's water-based. You can reconstitute it with water. So I've got probably 4 different colors: ebony, walnut, beige, and which is good for poplar and cherry. So I've got those for the small holes. And this is really good. It dries pretty fast, and you can just sand afterwards. So there are those for the small spaces, and then this stuff for the large spaces. I've seen some wonderful things done with this kind of Alumilite epoxy with just a little bit of dye in it, and if you can fill big spaces, or even fill in live oak or live edges in charcuterie boards or other things. So there's that. So those are the things I'm going to be trying to do, and so I'm going to do some things off camera, try to get ready for this, and then we'll get back to you. So there it is. See you in a while. Okay, this is the live oak bowl that I've told you about, that I'm going to try to put a new bottom in. I tried modeling clay on the bottom of this thing, and it just didn't work. So I have instead come up with a little round bottom bowl. This is the little round bottom bowl. I like making these, and I have a couple of these. This one's kind of flawed, so I didn't mind using it. So I'm putting, it occurred to me that if I used a ball, I didn't have a ball the right size, but this works great. I put this thing right down there, and it just fits the inside of this rim right here. It's going to be just perfect right there, and let me put the mold on it. Now, one thing we found out at the Woodworkers Guild, where I'm a member, is that these things will just leak like a sieve when you start pouring the epoxy into them. So I've got some foam I'm going to put on here, and then some kitchen wrap to try to seal it so that it doesn't leak, and it will also not stick to the foam. And I've got some clamps. I'm going to clamp this thing down to make it good and tight before I start pouring in the epoxy. So, by the way, this piece of granite here, this is a sample of a kitchen countertop that these things just showed up at the Guild, and I bought one of them. It's really handy for anything you need. It's very, very flat and polished. Just a good thing. So this is going to go here with this down, and then the kitchen wrap, and then this, and I'm going to smooth out the kitchen wrap, and then I'm going to level it all up with the level, so that when I pour the bottom, and if you can see the bottom there, pour the bottom in, it's going to come out level around this little rim. That's my hope. The one thing the instructions said when using this Alumilite is that the major flaw that people run into is that when they mix it up, they don't get it mixed up thoroughly. It's got to be stirred until there are no swirls left in it, and then it will cure properly. So I want to try to do that. So I'm going to put you on hold again until a little while from now, and I'm going to come back and try to pour this stuff. So I'll be right back. Okay, now I've got this stuff mixed up. It's not going yet. Yeah, there I am. Okay. I've got it mixed up. I'll show you. I've stirred this stuff for 2 full minutes. And so maybe you can see how it looks. I've got just two drops of a transient dye in there, which makes this kind of a nice clear green. Okay, now the trick is going to be to pour this stuff into the bottom without touching the sides. That's the problem. So we see what I can do about this. And this is a rather rickety proposition. Okay, just bring it up to the top. I got this stuff. So I'll clamp down and leveled, and we'll see how this does. I think I should have enough of the Alumilite to do the job. Getting toward the top right there. I'm going to quit. Try not to. Okay. There it is, folks. I am not going to touch it. The bubble, there's a bubble coming up on the left. I'm just going to leave it alone, and we'll see how this does. Now, I've got to leave it there for about 4 or 5 hours, and then we'll see if it has firmed up. So, took a while to get there. Now, I'm going to leave you for a little while again while I do some more stuff and try to get the other bowl ready to be poured. I'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, I'm back with a freshly charged battery, and I was just showing you the inside of this, which is looking pretty good. You can't really see to the bottom of it. I can see a little reflection of light off the bottom, but that's going to be fine. I'll show you what I did to get that. You see, this is the very, very clear, just 2 drops of that dye, translucent dye in there to give it that color. Now, I did the other one, a yellow, and you see this is a very, very pale yellow. That's what I want. There's very pale colors for these. I've got a little resin on my fingers. I use the gloves, the nitrile gloves, which are really very good. I'll show you what I did with the other piece. I put it in my vise. To try to hold it still, and you see it kind of overflowed. So I had thought I would need to do this at least twice on this bowl, and maybe we'll see what I do. That drip is going down onto the vise. Great. I'll try to wipe it off because that's going to be, it's going to lock down pretty permanently. So there you are, as far as I've got. Now, this one I'm going to have to put it back on the lathe and do some more carving on it to try to get it down to the Alumilite. So that'll be another thing. So anyhow, we'll see how this comes out. This is as far as I've gotten. So I'm going to leave you now with that, and we'll see what happens. Bye. Now, here comes the moment of truth. It's been curing for about 19 hours, and it looks wonderful, but it's not quite set yet, not quite cured. I can tell by when I lift up the popsicle stick in the cup, you see it's still sticky. So I think it's got a little ways to go, and I'm going to try taking it inside to let it finish curing. Now, I've taken the clamps off of it. I'm going to lift it up and take off the, I got to set this camera down for a second. There we are. Now, I've taken off the red foam. You can see how wonderfully clear it is. And that's the bottom of it that I've created with this Alumilite. Now I'm going to take off the look at the bottom. Oh, the bottom looks great. Can you see that? See, it doesn't have anything that leaked around the edges. That's because we use the foam to seal it. Now, I think that's the key. I'm going to take this, well, that's not coming off. I'm going to leave that on for now and take the kitchen wrap off after a little while and hope that it's going to be nice and smooth. Now, I have to show you the other one that I did, which is a mess. Hang on a second while I go get it. I'm just going to walk over here to the other part of the garage. That's been curing for 19 hours, but you have to remember my garage is cold, and it was 29 degrees outside this morning, so I don't think there's very much warmer in the garage. Maybe it's probably below 50 degrees. So this is the other one. It's just such a mess. So let me take it over to a better light so you can see it better. And I think there are a couple of lessons to be learned out of all this whole process. I should have learned this one lesson long time ago, like 6 years ago, when I first tried to do the side of a bowl with epoxy. It always runs out, and this is such an awful mess. You see this, oh, how it's run down there. You cannot, here's the lesson, you cannot put epoxy of any kind into a curved surface like this. It's got to be put into a flat surface, like the bottom of this this bowl. It just cannot stand being put on a curved surface. It will run out every time. So I should have learned that a long time ago, and I didn't. So we'll see how to go with that. But that's, for right now, that's not a pretty sight. It did cure better. Maybe it's thinner. Now I'm going to take this one inside and see if it will finish its curing process. So that's it for now, and hope you get something out of this video and learn something about Alumilite. This is the product again. Alumilite, Alumilite. So it's a pretty nifty stuff. Bye. Well, almost goodbye. I brought the bowl inside into a bathroom to finish curing at a warmer temperature with the vent fan on, and you can see how nicely clear the bottom is. And I took the kitchen wrap off the bottom. It just turned out so beautifully. I'm very pleased with it. So that's the kind of preliminary take on this stuff, and I'm going to leave it here in the bathroom to cure for a while longer. It's 70 degrees in here, so that's bound to be a lot better. So we'll see how it goes. Now I'll say goodbye for real. Bye.